I'm 74 years old, and I want to ask you something that nobody asked me until it was almost too late. When was the last time you did something that genuinely scared you? Not a big dramatic fear, not skydiving or standing on the edge of something. I mean the quiet, ordinary kind of scared. The kind that lives in your chest when you're about to say something honest that might change things. When you're about to make a choice that has no guaranteed outcome. When you're standing at the edge of something unfamiliar and every part of your nervous system is telling you to step back, go back, stay where it's safe. When was the last time you felt that and walked toward it anyway? Because I'll tell you something, if you have to think hard to remember, if the answer is months ago or a year ago, or you genuinely can't recall, then I need you to stay with me for the next few minutes, because what I'm about to tell you is the most important thing I've learned in 74 years on this earth, and I learned it too late. Not so late that I couldn't use it, but late enough that I look back at decades of my life and see clearly what I was doing and what it cost me. I was comfortable. That's what I was. And comfort, I now understand, is the most dangerous place a human being can live. Not because comfort is evil, not because ease is wrong, but because comfort convinces you, slowly, plausibly, completely, that staying still is the same as being safe. And it isn't. It never was. Staying still while your life moves around you is not safety. It is a different kind of risk. The kind you don't feel until it's already finished happening. I want to tell you about the life I almost lived. The version of me that nearly made it and didn't. And I want to tell you with enough honesty that you feel something uncomfortable sitting there, because discomfort is the only thing that ever changed anything real in my life. And I think it might be the only thing that changes anything real in yours. Here is what I used to believe. I believed that comfort was the reward, that the whole point of working hard, making sensible choices, building a stable life, was to arrive somewhere safe and stay there. Security was the destination, routine was success. I had a good job, a known life, a predictable week, and I told myself that predictability was maturity, that the people who kept taking risks were reckless, that settling in was what grown-ups did. I believed that the life I had chosen was the life I actually wanted. I confused familiarity with satisfaction. I confused the absence of discomfort with the presence of happiness. I woke up each day and nothing was wrong. And I told myself that nothing being wrong meant that everything was right. I believed that the things I had quietly given up, the paths not taken, the chances not risked, the versions of myself I had shelved because they felt impractical or frightening or unlikely. I believed those were just the reasonable sacrifices of an adult life, that everyone made them, that wanting more was naive. I was very good at believing what was convenient. I suspect you might be too, because here is the truth underneath all of it. Comfort is not neutral. It doesn't just sit there doing nothing while you decide whether to stay or go. Comfort actively shrinks you. Every year you spend inside the boundary of what feels safe, the boundary moves inward. What once felt like a daring choice starts to feel impossible. What once felt like a reasonable risk starts to feel terrifying. The world outside the zone gets bigger in your imagination and smaller in your actual reach. And one day, the gap between who you are and who you could have been is so wide that you stop looking across it. I stopped looking for a long time. I'm not proud of that. The crack appeared when I was 62. Not a crisis, not a diagnosis, not a loss. Something quieter and in some ways harder to deal with. Because dramatic crises give you permission to change. They hand you a reason. They make the disruption feel justified. What happened to me at 62 was that I ran into an old friend, someone I had known in my 30s, a man who had, by every conventional measure, made worse choices than me. He had left a stable career to start something uncertain. He had moved to an unfamiliar place. He had taken a chance on a relationship that required real courage. He had, at several points in his life, chosen discomfort deliberately and gone toward it. We sat together for 3 hours, and I listened to him talk about his life, not with bravado, not performing for me, just honestly, the way old friends talk when they stop trying to impress each other. And something happened in me that I didn't expect. I felt grief. Not for him, for me, for the version of me that had existed in my 30s, curious, restless, full of things I wanted to try, and had been slowly, carefully, reasonably talked out of all of it, mostly by myself. I drove home that night with my hands on the wheel and a feeling I couldn't name for several days. And when I finally named it, it was this. I had been living inside a life that was smaller than the one I was capable of. Not through tragedy, not through bad luck, through choice. Through the sustained, daily, entirely voluntary choice to stay inside what was known. That understanding sat in me for weeks. And then I did something I hadn't done in 30 years. I made a decision based on what I actually wanted, rather than what felt safe. I won't tell you it was easy. It wasn't. The discomfort was real, and the uncertainty was real, and there were mornings when I questioned everything. But something else was real too, something I had almost forgotten existed. The feeling of being alive in the full sense, not just functioning, not just managing, alive. And then the pattern became clear to me. I could see it across the whole of my life like a map from above. Every time I had grown, genuinely grown, as a person in ways that mattered, it had happened outside the boundary. It had happened in the uncertain moments, the scary decisions, the choices that had no guaranteed outcome. Every single piece of myself that I was actually proud of had been built in discomfort. And every year I had spent inside the comfort zone, every year of safety and routine and nothing going wrong, had produced almost nothing. No growth, no discovery, no version of myself I hadn't already met. That is not a coincidence. That is the design. Comfort is not where life happens. It is where life waits, paused, patient, slightly dimmed, while you decide whether you're ready. Are you ready, or are you still deciding? Let me tell you what I lost. Not what I missed out on in some abstract sense. What I actually lost. What has a specific weight to it when I sit with it at 78. I lost the career I was actually built for. I had a talent, a real one, not a fantasy, that I spent 20 years rationalizing away because pursuing it felt risky. It felt impractical. It felt like the kind of thing that worked out for other people. So I chose the adjacent, safer version of the life that talent could have built. And the adjacent version was fine. It was adequate. But I knew the difference. I always knew the difference. And adequate, experienced daily for decades, has a particular hollow quality that security alone cannot fill. I lost the experiences that don't reschedule. There were trips I didn't take because the timing wasn't right. Conversations I didn't start because I wasn't sure how they'd land. Relationships I didn't pursue because the vulnerability felt like too much. And those moments, those specific, unrepeatable moments, did not wait. They happened without me. And the people in them moved on, and the windows closed. I lost years of my own aliveness. That is the most honest way I can put it. There is a version of being alive that exists beyond routine, a quality of presence and engagement and genuine feeling that I only found when I was outside the comfortable known. And the years I spent inside the comfortable known were years I was alive in the technical sense and dimmed in every other sense. I lost the person I was becoming before I got comfortable. In my late 20s, I had an energy, a forward motion, a sense of possibility that was real and specific to me. And I let comfort erode it, slowly, plausibly, without any single dramatic moment of surrender, just the accumulation of small, safe choices until the forward motion was gone and I had stopped noticing its absence. Now I want to speak to you directly. What is the thing you keep almost doing? Not the fantasy. I don't mean the untethered dream. I mean the real thing. The specific thing that keeps surfacing in the back of your mind. The path you look at and then look away from. The conversation you rehearse and don't have. The choice you return to again and again and keep not making. You know what it is. You've known for a while. And what is the reason you keep giving yourself for not doing it? Be honest now. Not the official reason, the real one. Is it genuinely that the circumstances aren't right? Or is it that the circumstances being not quite right is more comfortable than the alternative of finding out what happens if you actually try? Because there is a version of you on the other side of that choice. I cannot tell you what it looks like, but I know, with everything I have learned in 78 years, that it is larger than the version of you that stays. And I know which one of them you would rather become. You've always known. What are you waiting for? Here is what I know now, after 78 years. After the old friend and the realization and the late decision to finally start moving again. The comfort zone does not keep you safe. It keeps you small. Those are not the same thing. Safety is a real and valuable thing, genuine safety, the kind built on honest self-knowledge and real capability and relationships that can bear weight. That kind of safety is worth protecting. But the comfort zone is not that. The comfort zone is familiarity mistaken for safety. It is the feeling of risk being absent, confused with the fact of things being well. And the longer you stay inside it, the more convincing the confusion becomes, until one day you realize that the life you have been carefully protecting is a life you designed in your 30s and have been maintaining ever since, without ever asking whether the person you are now is the same person who made those choices. Are you? Because people change, silently, continuously. The person you are at 40 is not the person who made the choices you made at 30. The person you are at 50 has capacities and needs and hungers that the person at 40 couldn't have predicted. And the tragedy, the specific quiet tragedy I see in the lives of people who stayed comfortable, is that they kept living inside a design that no longer fit them. Not because they couldn't change it, because changing it required discomfort. And they had learned over years to treat discomfort as a signal to stop rather than a signal to continue. Discomfort is not a stop sign. That is what nobody tells you. Discomfort is the feeling of growth beginning. It is the sensation of your edges being pushed outward. It is what expansion feels like from the inside. And every time you have turned back from it, every time you have chosen the comfortable known over the uncertain possible, you have, by that choice, made the boundary a little more solid and yourself a little smaller. Here is the warning I wish someone had delivered to me at 35 with the force I'm giving it to you now. The life you are capable of living is larger than the life you are currently living. Not maybe, not probably, certainly. I have never met a person, not one, in 78 years, who lived a full life inside a comfort zone. I have met comfortable people. I have met safe people. I have met people who had nothing going wrong, but full, genuinely, completely, looking back without regret, full. That was never inside the zone. It was always just past the edge of it. So, here is what I want you to do. Not a grand gesture, not a life overhaul, just one thing. Find the edge. You know where it is. The thing you've been almost doing, almost saying, almost trying. Go one step toward it this week. Not all the way, one step. Feel the discomfort of that step without immediately retreating from it. Sit in it for a moment. Let it exist without fixing it. That discomfort is not danger. That discomfort is you expanding. Because I am 78, and the years I spent inside the comfort zone are the years I remember least. Grey, adequate, unmemorable. And the years I spent outside it, uncertain, frightening, uncertain again, are the years I actually lived. The years I would choose again. The years that built the version of me I can respect. You still have time to choose which kind of years you are in, but not unlimited time. Nobody has unlimited time. If this reached something in you today, share it with someone who is playing it too safe. Leave a comment. Tell me, what is the one thing you've been almost doing? Say it out loud in the comments. Sometimes that is the first step. And if you want more of these conversations, the honest ones, the ones that ask something of you, Stay around. There is more to say.